prong goes above the E collar?
Correct, yeah.
We had it below, so we're trying to change it.
Very good. There you go. Oh, I see. Is that a separate attachment now? That little clip there? That's nice.
Yeah.
Because it helps act as a, yeah, for sure.
The prong comes off quite a bit, so we're trying to.
Yeah, it's because of the alligator clip.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine. You have a secondary there.
Okay.
So how'd it go with the food thing? And then was it piddling too? Was that her or was that a different dog?
No, she was.
PE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she only did a couple times. It was really weird.
Okay.
But then I kept practicing. I was using treats like just the treats I had at home.
Sure.
And she didn't pee then. So. And then I just, like I said in the email, I've been having the collar on her frequently, just having it off. And that seems to help. But she does still get just really weird.
Yeah.
She gets just lack of exposure.
It's not, yeah, in the beginning. And then what we're going to cover today, because last time we covered place due to weather, is ideally we want to do leash walking stuff, because leash walking helps alleviate stress as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover that today because it's supposed to start being nice now. You know, I mean, it is Chicago, so who knows, we might get some more snow. But we're going to start the heel, which is going to be the foundation for all this reactivity stuff. Okay? Any questions before we get started?
No.
Nope. What's our working number currently?
Well, she's usually at 25 is like the number that she will like immediately move.
Okay.
Usually at home I've been like starting at like 15, but I always end up at 25.
Gotcha. Okay. And then is your remote on?
It is not.
Okay, so let's go and power that on, and then we'll get started. Check. Check. Yep. Alrighty, and you're gonna work with her first?
Yes.
Okay, and then you want to teach walking on the left or the right?
I don't know. Do you recommend one or the other?
I mean, we do, if you're right-handed, we do left because it's easier. I mean, left is traditional, but it's also easier if you're right-handed. But you can, you know, you can do right, doesn't matter.
We'll just stick with left because that's what people normally do.
Okay, so here, a couple of things is, I'm gonna give you directions. The three things you wanna watch for, or here, listen for, are turn, tap, and pull to the left, okay? So what we're gonna do is when we walk with Gidget, right?
Yeah.
Is whenever she gets ahead of you, when you hear me say the word turn, you're gonna make an immediate 180 turn to the right like this, okay? She passes, I say turn, you go back like this. She passes, turn, like this. Passes, turn, like this, okay? So you should stay within a single line. The next thing I'm gonna say is tap. We're gonna pair those things together. So we're gonna get turn, tap, 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 tap. Good. She passes, turn, tap, tap, tap. Good. She passes, turn, tap, 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 tap. Good. And we're gonna keep repeating that, okay? Last thing is pull to the left. So as you're walking, if she goes to your right side, you're gonna keep going forward, pull to your left, and I'm gonna say tap. We're gonna keep tap, tap until she goes from your right side over to your left side, okay? That's the main ones. There's gonna be more instructions, but those are the three big ones you're gonna wanna listen for, okay? What do we currently set at, 25?
25.
Okay, let's go ahead and give a test tap here. Tip. See what she does, tip. And tip. Go ahead and pull her in a little bit. Tip. Good. Yeah, we'll start at that. That's 25?
25.
Okay, we'll start there. And what I'm gonna have you do is lightly pull up on your leash here. Does she know how to sit the pressure? Perfect. And go ahead and stand right next to her. And for the slack, go ahead and give slack here. More. Okay. A little bit more. Right there. Okay. So you see how your leash makes kind of a J there? Actually, give maybe another like 4 inches there. Go ahead and bring her into your side again. Pull up. And relax. Good, now relax again with the arm. Perfect. So you see at the bottom of the leash is kind of by where her armpit is. When you relax like that, that's like the perfect length, okay? When you're in training mode. Now talk about leash length and all that stuff.
Okay.
But we need Gidget to make mistakes and have the space to make those mistakes in order for us to teach her. If you keep it too short, she's not going to learn anything, okay? And it's going to be balance of giving slack and then taking slack depending on what's going on in the situation. Okay? Questions?
No.
Alrighty. So I'll coach you through this. All right, and going to relax. And here, go ahead and just move forward. Pull to your left. Tap. Pull to your left.
Oh.
Yeah, and tap. Good. Now relax. Good. Turn. Tap. Pull to your left. Tap. Tap. Good. Relax. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. Relax your arm. Turn. Tap. Tap. Pull to your left. Tap. Good. Relax. Good. Turn. Tap. Pull to your left. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Relax. Turn. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. So you have old habits. So you want to refrain from pulling back.
Okay.
Okay. So when she gets ahead, your instinct is to pull back, and instead we're turning.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Give slack. Good. And turn to your right. Forward. Good. Turn. Tap. You feel your hand? He was already going back. Tap.
I don't even know.
Forward. Tap.
So I'm only tapping when you say tap, right?
Correct. Good. Pull to your left. Tap. Turn. Forward. Pull to your left. Tap. Good. Relax your arm. Good. Forward. Turn. Tap. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Relax your arm. There you go. Pull to your left. Tap. Tap. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. Relax your arm. Good. Keep forward. Good. Slow turn. Forward. Tap. 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 Pull to your left. Tap. Tap. Good. Relax. Good. Forward. Tap. Tap. Good. Relax your arm. Good. Turn. Tap. Pull to your left. Tap. Good. Relax. Good. Forward. Good. Go and speed up a little. Good. Now slow. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Tap. There she goes. Atta girl. Pull to your left. Tap. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. Let's go ahead and bump that. You were at 25, you said?
Yeah.
Let's go to 30. And relax your arm. Good. Forward. Keep relaxed. There you go. Good. Turn. Good. Tap. Pull left. Good. Relax. Good. Keep forward. Good. Pull left. Tap. Tap. Good. Turn. Good. Going to speed up. Tap forward. Tap forward. Good. Relax. Good. Slow. Turn. Good. Slower. Keep forward. Slower. Stop. Lightly pull up on your leash. And relax. Good. All right. What did you see there? Up. Tap. Relax. Good. Yep. Pulled. Tap. 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 Almost. Tap. Tap. Relax. Almost. Yep. Wait a moment. Wait a moment. Up. Tap. Tap. Wait a moment. Now relax. Good. Okay. Don't worry about if she like fidgets or anything. We just want to keep her sitting. Okay. What did you see?
In the beginning, she was kind of all over the place, not sure. But then I feel like towards the end, I was trying not to look at her.
Mm-hmm.
She seemed like she was closer to me.
Sure. She's starting to walk at your side.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, give a tap. Up. Tap. 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 We're at 30 right now.
Yeah.
Let's go 38. And what you can do here is go and choke up a little bit on your leash. Yeah, like that. And then up, tap. Then relax. There, and then relax. Now here, lightly up, tap, tap, relax. Good, wait a moment, forward, pull forward, tap, up, tap. Yep, and you're gonna anchor yourself. There you go, then relax. And then choke up on your leash a bit. Yeah, like that, good. And then relax, perfect, okay? So you wanna do your best when she moves is to not move, okay? Because if you move, it keeps her moving. So you wanna anchor yourself, so she just use a frame of reference, okay? So yeah, she started walking more at your side. So in the beginning, it was kind of like a bunch of back and forths, and then eventually started to click, okay? So here, what we're doing is we're teaching Gidget to start following your lead, okay? Now most people when they walk their dog, they shorten it and they choke up on it, right? And they either pull the dog back or they keep it so short that the dog can't get anywhere, right? But the dog doesn't learn how to walk ever because they're not giving the opportunity to make mistakes but then being corrected for them, okay? So she's not meant to be on a leash, okay? She's not meant to like walk at your side, none of that stuff. Lightly up, tap, and then relax. Wait a moment, pull forward, tap, tap. Now up, tap, tap. Wait a moment. Now relax, up, tap. Now relax. Good. Okay, forward, tap. Wait a moment. Now relax. Good. She's not meant to do any of this stuff. Okay, we do this so that we can have control over our dog. Also in this case, because of behavioral things, right? So here, what I do, because obviously we have the space to, is I said give her leash, because we need her to make mistakes. We made it very simple. When she would get ahead of you, you would turn and you would remote. So for Gidget, when she felt this, she goes, I don't like this. Turns around, oh, mama's going that way. She catches up, it disappears. Up, tap, and relax, good. It disappears. And she passes again, right? And you start tapping. She turns around. Oh, now mom's going that way. She catches up, it disappears. So what we're telling her is not that way, because I'm going this way, but there's an aversive involved. There's something that she doesn't like that kicks in, but when she's next to you, tap, it disappears. Tap, yep. And then relax, good. It disappears when she's in this little pocket. So for her, she's thinking every time I feel this turn on, mom is always going the other way, right? And we need it to be concerning because then she's thinking, well, I also want to avoid this thing turning on. So I better start being more mindful. And that's when you started to see her walk at your left side. So we're teaching her that remote means to come in close to the left leg. So last class was, teaching her to go from here to there. Now we're teaching her to walk here. This becomes the reference point for reactivity, okay? Here, when you come to a stop, her job is to automatically put that butt down. That becomes a reference point when you're stationary. So here, when she started to lay down, she's technically not doing anything bad, right? She's just getting comfortable. But we want to be really strict because if you give any leniencies, that's where we struggle with reactivity, okay? So you have to be very strict, very black and white. When she's on break, when she's on her own time, she can pee, poop, sniff the ground, roll on the ground, I don't care. But when she's in this exercise, it's super strict. And I don't need her to be perfect. Like right now, she's facing the other way. She's like 2 feet away from you. Tap. And then relax, wait a moment. Up again, tap. Wait a moment, tap, tap. And then relax, good. And then see what she does, good. So earlier, she was facing the other way, 2 feet away, and I didn't care. All I cared about was that she had her butt down. Okay, so I'm making certain things easier so that she gets the concept, because if you try to push for too much too soon, it's overwhelming for the dog, okay? Tap, right. And that tap was for just getting distracted. There you go, go and relax your arm. Good, so I'm not gonna care that she's hunched like that, okay? But then she started to sniff and like kind of get distracted, and that's gonna lead to her getting up and then walking away, okay? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So, questions about this so far?
No. So when she passes you, you tap, and you tap until she's at your side.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So she gets ahead, you turn, and you keep tapping until eventually she turns and catches up to you. And if she stays at your side as you're walking, you just keep going forward. Okay. So up, tap, and then relax. Up, tap.
And we can practice this on walks.
Yes, this is now your walk. You're going to be your walk routine. Tap. And we'll talk about like dogs and all that stuff too, okay?
And while we're walking, as long as she's at our side and not going, and I have no reason to turn around.
Exactly. You're only turning when she gets ahead of you. So if you walk for 5 blocks and she's at your side, no reason to turn, okay? Now towards the end, I started to say, relax, slow, and slow turn, right? So the reason why I did that was because I could start seeing her paying attention. So had you just turned at that point, it would have been too abrupt, it would have been unfair. So we slow down first. She slows down with you. Yep, yep. And then you would do your turn, which should allow her to turn with you. Good. And then, good, yep. And then relax. Good. So the slowing down is to give her a heads up. Something's changing, right? So you guys drive, right?
Yeah.
What do you do before you stop?
Slow down.
And what do you do before you turn?
Slow down.
Right? And we do that because we have other drivers and they don't know what you're doing, right? So you have to communicate, I'm doing something different. So when you slow down, you pump your brakes, you let the person behind you know something's changing, because if you stop abruptly, what's going to happen? Yeah, you're going to crash. And if you just turn without slowing down or putting your blinker or anything, you're going to either collide or cut someone off and then possibly collision, right? So same thing here for Gidget. When she's paying attention to you, you're giving her the opportunity to move with you by slowing down. If she's not paying attention, what's going to happen? And what are you going to do?
Turn around.
And
Yeah.
yes. Okay. So you slow down. She keeps going. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Correct her. Because you did your job. You slowed down. You cued, hey, something's changing. She wasn't paying attention, so she lost track of you. Okay. Here, you've had to correct her for sitting down like 20 or 30 times or something, right? You have to be that consistent, okay? So this is gonna become a reference point for the reactivity stuff, so that you can start addressing that now, okay? So we're gonna do one more run of just kind of walking back and forth and stuff, and then we're gonna move to the next thing. Questions?
No.
Nope. All right, so go ahead and come towards the middle of the floor here, and then you're gonna start walking back and forth. And slow, turn, good turn. Go ahead and speed up. Good, relax your arm and slow turn. Good turn. Good, go ahead and pick up your pace, tap. There you go. Keep forward, good. Relax your arm, good. And slow, turn. Good, go ahead and pick up your pace. Relax your arm, good. Slow, turn, good. Slower, stop, good. Yep, up, good. Now here, relax. There you go. Forward, yep, tap. Good. Then relax, good. Now here, forward. Good. Slow turn. Good turn. Very fancy turn. Good, slow turn. Good. Good, slower. Good. Stop. Good. Now here, just take 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn. Tap, right? So right there, relax your arm. When you did that 5th step, you see how she kept going, but your instinct is to go up, right? So if you start to see her pass, we want to make our instinct now to 180 turn and tap. Okay. So let's try it again. Forward. Good. Tap. Good. Turn. Good job. Tap. Good. Forward. Good. Tap. Good. 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 Slow turn. Right. Forward. Yep. Tap. Good. Tap. Good. Right. Keep forward. Tap. Tap. Good. Slow turn. Pull to your left. Tap. Tap. Good. So this energy here, see how it's changing over here? And now she's starting to get stimulated? Okay. So go ahead and keep walking. Good. Slow turn. Relax your arm. Keep relaxed. Tap. Good. Slow walk here. Good. Slow turn. Good. Now what I'm going to have you do here is, yep, up, tap for the sit. Good, and relax. What we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of this energy here. You're going to up, tap. You're going to walk down. You're going to hug down the wall a bit. And you're going to come, and you're going to turn around here. Okay? So you're going to come down, walk, and turn here about this distance. Okay? To bring her closer to the energy. If you start to feel her deviate, you're going to just keep moving forward and remote to bring her back to your side. Okay? I'm going to try that a couple of times and see how she does. Right? Forward. Yep, relax. Yep. Now turn along the white wall. Good. And turn there. Keep forward and relax. Tap. Tap. Right. Tap. Keep forward. Good. Tap. Good. Turn. Tap. Tap. Yep. Pull left. Tap. Good. What's your number now? 38. Let's go to 45. We're going to try that again. Forward. You're going to go straight, and then you're going to turn against the wall and come back this way again. Yep. All right. Forward. Tap. Forward. Good. Right. Tap. Right. Good. Keep forward. And you're going to turn. Tap. Good. We're going to try that again. Forward. Good. Keep forward, turn, tap. Good. Yep, and then relax. Right. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. It's okay. Keep forward. Yeah, you're going to try that again. And you're going to try to come in a little closer to that pen area. Right. Tap. Good. You got it. Relax. Turn again. Tap. Good. Good. Tap right. Good. Keep relaxed. Yep. And slow. And actually, we're going to do this. You're going to go one more time, and you're going to stop right where that square ends. So you're going to come loop around like you did before. You're going to stop coming this way by that square. Okay? Right there. And slow to a stop. And then up. Right there, and then relax. And go in here, you're going to shorten your leash, okay? Perfect. So here, up, tap. Yep. You see how she's facing right there? Right? Yeah. That's intentional. Why is she doing that?
To pay attention to Laura more.
Okay, what else? Relax. Tap.
Maybe it's a way of like trying not to pay attention to them.
Yeah. Okay, she's in what we call avoidance. Relax.
The hair on her back.
Yeah, because she doesn't like the energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, the first one, she was more up, right? And then you did that twice, then we bumped from 38 to 45. And then you started seeing more of like this, right?
When she was walking, she kept checking with Laura.
Yes.
She would catch herself looking and then look back.
Yes. So she can't help but want to look. Okay.
Right.
So then you're correcting her and you're saying, don't worry about that energy. Okay. And then, so she goes into conflict. She goes, I want to look, but I know if I look, I'm going to get corrected. Right. So that's why we kept repeating and repeating and repeating. So then she starts to differentiate, like, is it the dogs that's causing me to get tapped? Or is it what I'm doing that's causing me to get tapped? Right? So we don't want her to think it's the dogs. We want her to think, of course, it's her behavior.
Right.
So when she does that and she looks back, she's like, oh, I looked, but I didn't get tapped. Right? Because we're correcting too much looking or too much intention or too much energy coming from her.
But a little bit of looking is okay, like in the future, obviously.
Right.
Stop whining or
Yeah.
reacting, but looking at it.
Right. So in the beginning, we're more strict. And then as we, like if you see like reactivity is making great progress, then we start to lay off a little bit. Okay, so like let's say like in the beginning I might not let the dog look ever and I correct him for everything. And I make them like super like, okay, like don't worry about dogs. And then one day they look at a dog and I don't correct and they look and they're like really calm and passive and they keep walking, no problem. Great.
Right.
Right? Then they go like, oh, I can look at dogs, I just can't blow up, tap, or lunge or bark. Okay? So then they start to learn to differentiate and also learn like it's not the dogs that's causing that to happen. It's what they're doing. Okay? So we need her to relate this, of course, to her behavior. But in order for a dog to do that, you have to correct and repeat and give them the option to do it or not do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We tend to restrain or like kind of physically control and try to contain the behavior, but it's let them do it and correct them for the action itself. So like you can tell a kid, hey, when you walk past this fence, don't yell at the kids behind the fence or you'll get a consequence. And the kid just like goes, okay, I'm not gonna do that then because I don't wanna get a consequence. Not the dog. You can't tell that to her and then expect her to do that.
Right.
She has to technically try it, to be corrected for it, and then repeat and keep trying and making decisions.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you deal with reactivity on the street, you wouldn't actually do this. Okay? Because on the street it's very different. Here we have controlled context. So like if you have a dog, let's say you're walking, there's a dog behind a fence, you could do this then, because you have controlled context. So dogs behind fences are great to work with if you ever come across one. You wouldn't walk her right against the fence, you know? So if this was the sidewalk, I would be over here, keeping some distance, not trying to get her to be here, okay? Because that's gonna put her under too much pressure.
Yeah.
So if she goes and I correct her and I walk by, I turn and I walk by again and I walk by again. Till eventually she's walking with you and she's like this. Okay, she's like, I'm gonna ignore what's going on over here. Then you keep going. Okay, once you create that a couple of times where you can walk past and she's just like this and she's not caring about this dog, then you go. So the last thing she remembers is, oh, I walked past that fence with that crazy ass dog, but nothing happened and I was calm, or as calm as can be.
Yeah.
So the next time you walk past that fence, it's gonna be easier. And the next time easier, and you keep repeating that, okay? Now just be mindful though, that if someone's in the yard or whatever, or they might come out and say, what the hell are you doing? Because their dog's barking.
Yeah.
I've had it happen. So
Yeah.
just heads up on that. But I take advantage of those situations if I can, okay? Because it's reactivity, but it's controlled because they can't get it to each other,
Right.
okay? Now when it comes to dogs on the street, you want to do this, okay? So if we're walking on the sidewalk, so we got the buildings, we got the sidewalk, we got the curb and the grass, it's going to be a shitty week probably. Just letting you know. Excuse me. As you step aside, she should put that butt down. You choke up on the leash
Okay.
to limit range of motion. Okay? So if she starts freaking out, hey Corey, water. Excuse me. I'm talking all day.
The mask made by outside.
Does it? I had this shit on all day. So, boop, boop, boop. Step aside. Dog's passing. Shorten your leash. And you'd actually go shorter. Yeah, like that. Okay. And now relax. So here, you would do that grip like you had it with that lock. Mm-hmm. Because there's only tension because she's dipping her head. Okay. But you have it nice and short. So if she does blow up, she's not going to get far, right? Earlier you had it short, but she still had at least like a foot to get away from you. Here she's not going to get very far, right?
Right.
So trainers will tell you, don't do this. It's too hard for the dog. And I go, life is already hard for the dog anyways. Might as well just get them over it. Because this makes it easier for you. It makes it harder for her, but easier for you. Okay? Thank you. So by doing this, it's controlled. You step aside, you go to the curb, you reinforce the sitting position, you shorten your leash. Your job is to keep an eye on her. That's your responsibility, okay? Let's say she starts locking on. The moment you see her locking on, you can start the tapping to disengage her. So like what you did earlier, right? When she was walking by, you tapped and she turned and she'd look over here. But this is gonna be harder, of course, because she's contained, and this has to happen, okay? So typically the window is this. This is where it might start, and then this is where it's at its worst, okay? When the dog's right in this line of sight. So ideally we want to preemptively tap to disengage her prior. So if she saw the dog over there, she gets tapped and she does this, and the dog passes, perfect, okay? Or you tap and she keeps staring, you keep tapping, it's not working, you have to bump it, right? Now, if you tap and you feel her getting more agitated, or if you feel it escalates her, or if she goes into full-blown reactivity, it's okay. Okay, you didn't do anything wrong, it's part of the process. So until we figure out what's gonna crack the reactivity, and not only stop it, but get it to not happen again, you're gonna get moments like that, okay? So the dog is already in the agitated state, that the pressure is just making them more agitated because you're not at the correct number yet, okay? So I'm not assuming, oh, I'm at 30, let me just go to 100. It's that same process like we did with the leash walking stuff, right? 30 to 35 to 40 to 45 until we find that number tip that's going to break the mental state. And then up a little bit, and now relax. Good, okay? You see how she kind of turned that way and then she turned her back that way, or her head that way? Right, wait, see how she wants to move? Wait a moment, right? So, just take a sip of water here. I'm sorry?
No, talk about her, sorry.
Oh. So, these guys, yeah, they're too interested in playing.
They don't care.
Yeah, that's Bear and Wrinkles.
Cute.
So, we shorten the leash. We're watching Gidget.
Yeah.
You tap any sign of escalation. Hackles, ears, eyes, posturing, any sign of escalation.
So it doesn't have to be vocal, anything.
Yeah, okay. Anything that you think goes this is reactivity, you can correct, okay? Because people tend to wait for the full-blown like lunging and barking, or they'll wait for like the real obvious stuff. And I'm like, if there's stuff they can catch prior, that would be ideal, okay? So let's say you're tapping, and let's say it's too much, you can't think of turning it up or whatever, and she blows up. That's it, just up on the leash, right? You've got it short, so she can't go anywhere. You let this pass. Once they pass, you can tap to de-escalate her. Once she's de-escalated, or as best as you can de-escalate her, then start your walk again. Look at your number, 40. All right, well, we know 40 is not gonna work for reactivity. So the next time I'm gonna be at 45, okay? Or you could be at 50. And then, so it's up to you. If it's like, we just wanna get to the bottom of this,
Yeah.
40, next time 50. Didn't work, next time 60. Didn't work, next time 70. Didn't work, next time 80. So I go real fast. So within a single walk, if I see at least 8 dogs, I'm gonna have my number by the end of the walk, right?
Okay.
But if you go in jumps of 5, it's just gonna be a little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't care what you do. but now you have your pattern.
Okay.
Okay? So if you learn, 65, not only stopped her, but got her to let the dog pass, no big deal. But also, when we were walking past other dogs, it was easier, or she didn't blow up, that's how you know you're at the right number. Because it shouldn't just stop it within the moment, it should stop it and prevent it from happening again.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do here, okay? If you're stopping it, but it keeps happening, you're just enough to stop it, but not to actually teach, don't do that again.
Like frustrating her, but not stopping.
Exactly, okay? So, don't be discouraged if you have failures, it's just part of the process, okay? There's gonna be times where you're gonna just get caught off guard and you're not gonna be able to do much.
Right.
The other thing that we're doing here is every time you see a dog and you step aside, you shorten your leash and all that stuff, you're building a habit. Okay, and that habit is the moment I see the stimuli, I'm going into control, right? So if you turn a corner one day and you see a dog, your first instinct is going to be choke up on the leash. So if you ever see someone hand me a dog out of control, if you see me step in and take over a dog that's getting out of control, the first thing you do is always see me choke up on the leash, because that gives me the most leverage, right? So it is built into me. Like, I can't not do that. So for most people, when they come across something, they're like, oh dear, and they like pull like back on the leash and there's like all this slack. Like, I saw this happen the other day, like in Lakeview, this guy's dog was lunging and he was like this, and there was all this leash. And he was like this, and I'm like, dude, just choke up on it, right? Happens all, or the people do like this, right? As they're walking away and the dog, I'm like, just grab there, right? So you're building habits. Every time you step aside, you're just building this habit of, I choke up on the leash when I'm gonna need to get physical control, okay? Main thing is you, of course, are relaxed. So if there's any tension, like right now there's a little bit of tension because of how she's turning her head, but that's not you. You're relaxed. You don't wanna be like this, because that's gonna cause something.
So I shouldn't give her slack if she's positioned weird? I should let it be?
Let it be, yeah, because your instinct would, like let's say she laid down,
Right.
your instinct is to give slack, but then that gives her a foot.
Yeah.
So if she can go a foot down, she go a foot forward. Okay, so if she tries to lay down, that's when we up tap to correct her, because I don't want you to develop that habit.
Right.
Okay, because it happens all the time with clients where they just give the slack.
Yeah.
Okay, and then with you, because you have reactivity, you don't want to develop that habit. You just want to keep it nice and short, not tight. And if you need to, you can always pull a little bit forward to correct her, to reposition her, so that it goes back to being slack again. Okay, questions?
If we were outside, hypothetically, and there were dogs like this, and she's doing this whining, this would be correctable, right?
You could correct that, correct. So give a tap here. Tap. There it is. Okay. Right. Now up. Right. Right. Good. Relax a little. Yeah. There you go. Good. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Right. But you see this here? See how she did that? Up, tap, and then relax. Like she looks at them and then she starts to do this because she's going into avoidance, right? She has to learn how to deal with this situation.
Right.
So this for her is uncomfortable, right? That's why the way she's looking, you see how she's dipping her head? She's glancing over here, tap. Wait a moment. Now she looks away, right? Now she's licking her lips because she's like, what's the answer here? And the answer is just chill, right? If you don't want to look at them, don't look at them. Or if looking at them makes you stressed out, look at something else, right? So I don't care if you look at the floor, I don't care if you look at the ceiling, I don't care if you look at your mom, I don't care if you look over there. Just, if that stresses you out, don't look at them, okay? But you see how she quieted down too? So you can correct even the little sounds, okay? Because it's like 0.1 on the 0 to 10 scale.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
And then people tend to wait for the bigger ones.
Right.
So if you catch it earlier, the better.
Would you recommend, because we're at 45 now, if this was the beginning of a walk and she started doing the whining, whatever, would you?
You could go up higher.
Okay. Would
Yeah.
you start at whatever? I don't know what our working number is for reactivity yet. But
Yeah.
Would you start at a specific number with the whining?
I would start with, so typically, you would go outside, pee and poop, get that out, then you'd find your working number, and then you would start your walk, okay? From what I'm seeing today, 25 look like a good number. Outside, there's gonna be more stuff, you'll probably be starting around 35, but then once you start the moving, because moving becomes a distraction because the dog's all like this, right? That number may go up again, okay? But if you're walking with her and you feel her kind of getting pent up and starting to become vocal, you would just keep forward, up, tip, and then you would tap the collar, and the collar should redirect her to you. If she keeps whining, you can go up a little bit. Just keep forward, tap, to see if once you get to like maybe 45 again, you hear her, she might yip. The yip isn't physical discomfort. The yip is frustration, because she's not wanting to let go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like right now, all that whining and stuff, and then you finally tapped her, and then she's been quiet, because you finally let it go. Okay, so don't always think vocalization is physical discomfort.
So would that be our working number the next walk? If 40 got through it, or
Technically, yes.
40 would be start with the next walk?
So usually what I do, and up, tip, good, and relax. Right, up, tip, and then relax, good. Is typically the way we do this is every time you go out on a walk, you start with the potty break, get that done, and then you find the working number, and then you start your walk, and then you find that walking number, okay? Every single time.
Okay.
And then if you say, let's say you notice every time you end up at 45, she's great, reactivity is much easier, sometimes she doesn't even blow up, the whining is gone, all that stuff, and you do that for 7 days, and I see you next week, and I ask you, like, how'd it go? You're like, Jesse, great. Every time we hit 45, she was perfect. And I go, oh, okay, well, that's our number is 45 now. But we were going down lower, because the more you expose her to this, she may become more sensitive. So if you assume it's just 45 and then you're breaking her down and she's more sensitive, then 45 can become too much. Does that make sense?
Yes. So in your experience, they get more sensitive, not more?
Most of the time. Every now and then we get dogs that become, they need a higher number. Most dogs tend to go down, and some will stay static. Okay? So but that's why we do the down, the up, until we find consistency. And then once we get consistency, then I go, it's safe to assume your dog is just at 45 or within that range of 45. Okay?
And you can, hypothetically, here, she's 10 out of 10, just like reacting horribly. It's still, you want to like tap it and try to correct her, or is there ever a time where it's like, hey, this is making it worse?
Yeah, so if you feel like it's making it worse, and it's too much to think about dialing up and stuff, lay off the collar, just keep up on the prong to de-escalate her, let her go, okay? We can get what's called redirected aggression, okay? It's not making the dog aggressive to you, it's because there's so much frustration and agitation and the pressure that it has to go somewhere, okay? And you're the closest thing. So then you're tapping, they're getting flustered, and she goes, ah, and she just goes, right? So like in movies, have you ever seen when they suture someone, or they're like, sawing off their arm or something? They'll give them something to bite on,
Yeah.
right? It's because that pain's got to go somewhere. Same thing with the collar. Once you start to hit those higher ranges, plus she's agitated, it's got to go somewhere, okay? So what we do is called the up and away. So the other reason for shortening it is that if, up, and then relax, good. If we start to feel like that's a possibility, as we pull up and away, okay? So by going away, she can't reach me this way because I shortened the leash. And by going up, if the dog tries to bite upwards, since you're pulling up, you're naturally going to go up with the dog. And then you come down with them, okay? But we lay off the pressure. Now, if you're comfortable, like us, like if we get a dog that blows up, like we're going to shut it down, but we're already prepared for it, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, blah! And all of a sudden you just see them, we're good. Because in the beginning, the dog's getting agitated because of negative pressure, but then they're learning me blowing up isn't making it better. But the moment I relaxed or stopped, it disappeared. Okay? So in the beginning, it tells them to go, but you have to keep that pressure on until she realizes, oh, like this isn't telling me to go, this is telling me to cut it out. Okay? So I don't know how that's going to work for you. Every case is different. But if you feel like you're in a situation and you feel like you're making it worse, just lay off the remote and just contain her. But that's how I figure out how to go on with the other stuff, okay? Because you might say like, hey, Jesse, 60% of the time, she was great. It shut her down. The other 40%, it didn't. And I'll say, what happened on the 40%? Oh, the dog was lunging at her. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because that's gonna be harder to override
Right.
in her mind.
Right.
Okay?
So this week is going to be more experimental, like start at 25 maybe,
Mhm.
and then figure out what numbers shut her down.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Other questions?
Not right now, no.
All right, you want to give it a go?
Sure.
All right, let's go and swap handlers. And let's dip down a bit. We're at 45 there.
Yeah.
Let's go down to 35.
35?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right over. Yeah, left hand. And then right hand.
All right, and then go ahead and relax your arm. Good, and give it a little bit more slack.
About like that.
Take up like a foot there. Now, yeah, now relax your arm. Good, and turn. And have your remote ready. Yep. And forward, tap, pull to your left. Good, turn again. Turn again. There you go. Now relax your arm. Keep forward. Good. Check. Keep forward. Good. Tap. Good. Right. Keep relaxed. Good. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. There you go. Good. Keep forward. Relax your arm. Yep. So when you feel your arm wanting to go like this, that's most likely a time when you should actually be turning. So right now she's doing good. Okay, relax your arm, good. Now turn. Good. Very good. Going to pick up your pace a little bit. Pull to your left, tap, tap. Good, relax, good. Turn. Good. Pick up your speed a little. Good. Relax that arm. There you go. Good. Slow turn. Good. Slow walk, but keep forward. Stop. Good. Here, take 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Take 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Good. Turn. Tap. Forward. Tap. Good. Relax your arm. Good. Slow turn. Good. Slow to stop. Okay. Now 5 steps. 1, 2. Tap. 3, 4, 5. Good. 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Good. That's okay. Up tap. Good, relax. Good. Forward. Good. Yep, relax your arm. Yep, turn. Pull left, tap. Good. Relax. Good. Forward. Pick up your pace a little. Relax your arm. Good. Slow turn. Good. Tap forward. Yep, pull left tap. Slow turn. Tap. Good. So that squawk over there, turn around a little bit. Go ahead and pick up your pace. Good. Now I'm gonna have you turn and then try to do it, she did it earlier, and like walk along the pen there. Tap forward, yep. There you go. And turn, good. Right. Right, good. A lot of conflict there. We're gonna try that again. Turn, tap, good. Pull left, tap, good. Relax, good. Good. One more turn. Pull left hip. Good. Go and speed up a little. Good. And turn along the wall. Good. Keep forward. Yep. Right. Now slow and stop. Right. And go to shorten your leash there. Good. Questions? So you see here, bring her back in a little bit more comfortable. Hey, you guys cut it out in there. Keep it PG. So here, she's responding to 35 well, right?
Yeah.
Because since her stress levels are going down a bit, she's not needing as much power to override. And these are things that you're just going to develop a sense for, okay? So in the beginning, don't worry about being perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Don't worry about screwing her up. Don't worry about like, is she not going to like dogs? She already doesn't like dogs, okay? It's all part of the process. So here, when you have the capacity to, it's all about repetition, okay? So dogs behind fences are great ways when we're dealing with reactivity to work with reactivity, because we have a dog most likely barking and running back and forth along a fence, which is like one of the hardest things for a dog to deal with. And then it's controlled. They're not going to get to each other, okay? So in that kind of scenario, you can also shorten your leash a bit so that she can't actively get to that fence. And you can just try that back and forth method. If it doesn't work, you can try it a couple of times. If it doesn't work, let it go, let me know. It just means we have to try a different approach, okay? But that's the first one that I do, and to see if it fixes the problem. That also helps set up the foundation for like stepping aside and dogs passing and stuff. It's all very similar. Once she learns, oh, tap doesn't mean blow up, tap means to cut it out, it's going to be much easier. Okay, that's why we do stuff like this, because you're setting the foundation down. It's familiar to her. So when you're in the situation in real life, it's been done before. It's just what number is she going to need to actually make it happen. Okay, questions?
So you're saying normally your approach with reactivity is to practice behind a barrier is to do what we're doing now.
If we have it, like it's take what you have. Like, you know, if like so like I have another reactive case right now, and the guy's like across the street from him. There's a dog behind a fence, and I was like, oh, use it. You know, because at that time there was no people weren't walking because of the weather. Right. And I was like, we can use that in the meantime. Yeah. But now that it's melted, he's able to go to the step aside stuff. So it's if you come across it, you can use it because you can repeat it. Otherwise, you just whenever someone passes by with their dog and stuff, step aside, give space, shorten the leash, and then use that to your advantage. Okay. But just anticipate, like it may be a rough week, but it makes sense because you're going to be challenging things. Yeah. Use your better judgment. If the other dog looks uncontrolled, like the owner's not controlling them, or they're all over the place, you can cross the street or whatever. Right. Don't get tunnel vision, where you're so focused on Gidget that you're not seeing what's around you. So like if I'm looking at her, I can still see all this other stuff over here. Because what happens is people get tunnel vision, and then this person's going, oh, you step aside so my dog can say hi, right? And then they're coming in, and then you're so stuck on this that you don't see the dog coming in, right? So I want to be able to see that happening so I can look up and go, oh no, we're training right now, okay? And also don't be afraid to tell people what to do. Like I've told people, shorten your leash. Like if I step aside with a dog or something, I'm like, oh, could you shorten your leash, right? And they'll assume like, oh, and they'll just like shorten the leash and keep going. Every now and then you get someone who's just like, my dog is friendly, and it's just like, no, okay? Other questions?
So we should probably just replicate what we're doing here outside, even
Yes.
if there's no dogs, just
Yes.
to get her to not pass us.
Yes.
At our side.
So here, your walks are now training walks, okay? When you go out, have her collar on. What you're gonna do first, again, start off with the potty break, get your working number, start your walk. Okay. Like you said earlier, if she's at your side, there's no need to turn. The only time you're abruptly turning is when Gidget gets ahead of you. Okay, so for your frame of reference, her right shoulder parallel to your left leg. Okay, that's how that should look. So just like if you're walking with someone, we're shoulder to shoulder, same thing with Gidget. Okay, her right shoulder to your left leg, not even an inch forward. Okay, if she's an inch ahead of you, she's too far ahead of you, turn and tap. Okay, do remember if you're going to come to a stop or if you're going to turn, what do we want to do? Slow down. Okay.
Yeah, so I was gonna say.
To give her like a little bit of a warning.
Yes.
So hypothetically, it happens quite a bit in the city where we'll be turning around our building and there's a dog right there.
Yeah.
So in that situation, when you do have to abruptly turn,
Mm-hmm.
would you recommend to use tapping or just get her out of the way?
First thing would be, up. So if you're going to turn a corner,
Yeah.
use the space to your advantage. If you're turning right, fan out to the left, right? So especially if you're on the street, on the sidewalk, because it gives you more time to see, right? Also, straight up, okay? And I wouldn't turn. I would just try to handle it because life's not going to let you always stop or turn. You're going to have to at some point just go through it.
Yeah.
So in those moments, I just fan out that way.
Okay.
If you're turning to the left, you just fan out to the right. So when you make that turn, okay? If you're in a situation, and the heel is black and white, it's dog walking at the left side, blah, 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 blah. Life is not black and white. So you come to a situation where it's person, dog, dog, person, and you have nowhere to step aside to, you can move her to your right side. You can shorten that leash, and you can do what you can in that moment
Yeah.
until we cover more stuff.
Okay.
But don't get caught up in the obedience, because it happens to people where like, yeah, Jess, I have to keep the dog on the left, it's just like a shit show. I'm like, you can move the dog to your right. If it's, if it's better, you can. Obedience just gives frame of reference. It's super black and white. It's not always going to fit the situation. You can adapt to it, okay? But the main thing is that you're making the decision of, I need you on the right, as opposed to her picking any side she wants.
Yeah.
Dogs learn best in smaller chunks. So if you did 3 20-minute walks or 4 15-minute walks, that would be ideal in order for her to learn the process.
Okay.
If all you have is a solid hour, that's perfectly fine too. The walking helps alleviate stress, so it should help with all of this pent-up stress that we're getting now.
Yeah.
Help balance things out a bit more. The word break.
Right.
So let's say you're walking and she's doing great, you come to a stop. You want to give her a potty break, Gidget break. And she can go, she can pee, she can poop, she can sniff the ground. Now she's off the clock. And then when you're ready again, just start walking, tap, back to your side. So we're not going to say the word heel this week. Okay, you're just going to use the remote.
Okay.
Heel comes in next week.
Got it.
Okay. Dogs tend to build up a bit of stress, so that on the return home, you might see she's kind of forging. She just wants to get home faster. If you see that, what I suggest is when you leave, you go 5 minutes one way and give yourself 10 to 15 minutes back, right? Because you're going to be turning to correct her to keep her at your side, and you would still go up on the numbers. She's wanting to forge home because she's stressed. She's like, this walk sucks. I can't do whatever I want anymore. So we have to override that. So even though she's stressed, she still has to adhere to the heel, okay? Just like with walking along here, right? She didn't like that energy, but she still had to adhere to the heel.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept. If she forges, I just turn tap and I keep bumping the number. To give you a structure, think of every turn and tap as one correction. So I have my 3 tap rule or my 3 correction rule. So earlier when we found the working number, tap, 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 bump it. Tap, 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 bump it. Tap, 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 bump it, right? So every 3 taps, no response, bump it. Same thing with corrections. Turn and tap, turn and tap, turn and tap. Okay, 35 isn't working. Go to 40, reset. Turn and tap, turn and tap, turn and tap. 40 isn't working. Go to 45, reset, right? So that this way you have a structure to when to bump your number, because a lot of people struggle with that. They're like, Jesse, I kept turning, the dog never got better. And I'm like, why didn't you raise the number? They're like, I didn't know when I should. So every 3 corrections, if she doesn't, you'll know once you hit like 60, boom. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, we walked for 20 minutes and Gidget's been at her side the entire time. You're gonna see a pretty noticeable change in how she's walking once you hit that correct number, okay? Other questions?
Kind of a silly question, but like, if she's doing really good, do we praise? Like, is there a way to praise, or should we be praising her, or is it just no correction is the praise?
I mean, you could say like good.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like earlier when I said good, it was more for you, so you knew what she was doing that I liked. For her, like you said, the no correction is technically like the praise. That's the positive.
Yeah.
But like the other thing is what we're trying to create here is passive focus dog. Okay, a passive dog takes more time to escalate, but an already agitated, stimulated dog very easily escalates. So then if you're like, good girl, girl, if you're like, you know, then it's just like, okay.
Gotcha.
So I don't mind if you're like, good, you know, like a real simple, or like even a very like simple pat, that's fine. Like let's say a dog passed by, she didn't do anything. Good, a little pat, then we go. But I wouldn't make a big spiel about it because now you're just jacking her up for energy again.
And would you treat her, like say we were out, we had treats on us and she did a good job, dog walked by,
You could.
no problems?
Just a, yep.
Okay.
But you wouldn't be like this, like look at me, right? It's just, I expect you to behave.
Yeah.
All you did, feed. Okay, now she may not take it though because of stress.
Yeah.
And if you do use food, we use very high value food. Like we use sausage, turkey, bologna, rotisserie chicken, cheese sticks, the good stuff,
Yeah.
bacon, you know. Especially for things like that. If you want to incentivize the dog to work, like we use the good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't use bacon flavored treats, but I can just buy bacon. I can enjoy it myself too. So, okay. I have no problem with you guys doing that. You just don't want to rely on it, okay? And we're not using it as a means of distracting her. It's, I expect you to behave. I'm going to correct you if you don't behave. And if you do behave, good job. Okay? Anything else?
No, not right now. I'm like pretty pumped up. Like it's cool to see the
progress?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
inspires me
This
to
week,
want more.
this week will be the real test.
Yeah.
Okay? But remember, you know, you're putting yourself out there, so expect it to not be the greatest week. But what we should see is in the beginning it starts off rough, and you're going to start to see a decline, and it's going to get easier and easier, okay? Do take note of any time she blows up. Was it easy to de-escalate her? What was your number? If she's doing good with some dogs but not other dogs, then you want to kind of differentiate what's the difference. You know, this dog was barking at her, and every time a dog barks at her, she always barks back. I go, that makes a lot of sense. You know, as long as we're seeing some dip in reactivity, we were making progress. Okay?
Random, but when you're using the collar every day, obviously, how often do you charge it?
Oh, if you're using it like, you know, let's say an hour and a half a day, you're probably going to charge it maybe once a week and a half to 2 weeks.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I
That's
think,
like a low battery light, right?
yeah, so I think this is blue for fully charged, purple for running low, and red is charge me now.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it says it on the
The manual.
manual because I need to make a new video for this new model
Okay.
because the old one used to be green, orange, and red, and now it's blue, purple, and red, I believe. Okay,
Cool.
yeah. So, anything else?
No.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, one question. If she's off leash but has this collar on, like she freaks out about the door, that's not like a time to do that, right?
Oh, like with someone
Inside.
coming in?
Yeah.
Did I
let's say
send you
she's
the
in
bonker
backseat of the
videos?
car.
Say that again?
Did I send you the bonker videos?
No.
Okay, so I'll send you that. If you don't receive anything, shoot me an email
Okay.
about just say, Jesse, send me the videos about the door. If she's in the car, she's blowing her shit, yes, you can use it to correct her, okay? Just be mindful, of course, if, is she clipped to anything?
No.
Okay. If you're stationary in the car, you can use it to correct her. My only concern would be if you're driving and someone corrects her, if she tries to jump in the front seat,
Yeah.
okay? So yeah, so,
It's weird because I want her to be I want her to be protective, you know, like in the middle of the night if I'm not home and somebody tries to come in, I want her to make some noise, so it's like.
right,
what do you do,
so
right?
she will learn, a dog can learn context.
Okay.
So like, let's say you correct her when people walk by your front window or whatever, right? Because you know, like, that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But if someone broke a window, she'd still lose her shit.
Yeah.
Okay, like let's say you correct her in the car. When someone's walking by the car, they're walking their dog and stuff. And if someone comes and like knocks on your window, she's still gonna lose her shit. Because it's a different context.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can still have security, but also disagree with other stuff that just can be a bit too much.
Yeah, because I worry that we were like telling her it's not okay, like to be
React.
protective of the house or something.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You can put rules with things, and you can even correct her for everything while you're home. But when you're not home, she's still going to throw a fit if she hears something because the context changes.
Yeah.
Okay?
All
So
right,
yeah.
cool. Thanks,
Mhm.
man.
You're welcome.